I would love to tell you that I'm a big Trekkie. I would love to tell you that I have fond memories from my youth watching the original series or Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, anything like that. But I don't have that bank of reference. It was not something that I grew up with. It is not something that I grew to love when J.J. Abrams came over and revitalized it for the big screen with a whole bunch of lens flare. It's something that, yeah, I've been interested in, paid respect to, because I understand how well it was written and the themes and the ideas that it explored with a very modest budget but incredibly tight writing. It's just, in general, sci-fi is not something that I really like all that much. It's not something that really appeals to me. But that also doesn't mean that I can't look to a long-suffering fandom and empathize with them. I mean, do that on a semi-consistent basis with Doctor Who, a little bit more regularity with Star Wars. And so when I see some potential healing for another fandom over in Star Trek, got to be a little enthusiastic, right? Because before we get to the good news, we got to get to the cope news, because as bad as things have gotten in recent years, I mean, just the steady stream of garbage that Trek fans have had to endure for a while, from their animated Lower Decks garbage, the J.J. Abrams films, and then, of course, the crown jewel of all this nonsense, Star Trek Discovery. I mean, for as much as I'm saying, I'm not a Trek fan, didn't watch any of it, I still was surprised at the going-ons, mostly because of clips that are shared on social media when you have the likes of Stacey Abrams, perpetual election loser, come in and play Planet Earth. Oh, I'm sorry, president of Planet Earth. It's like, wow, you want to go in that direction, huh? That's an interesting call. But the more I hear about Star Trek Discovery, the more I understand why people left the franchise, and then when this series wrapped up after 5 years, it had its finale in 2024, and nobody cared. Nobody talked about it at all. It ended with a whimper, even though it began with a franchise-shattering bang. But there was a lot of cringe in Star Trek this year. There was a musical episode that made you want to pull your hair out, and as somebody, like I said, not a Trekkie or anything like that, hearing some of that stuff does not at all interest me in this. It was just drama kid cringe. I think that's the nicest way that I can refer to it. But according to Screen Rant, Star Trek had a great 2024. Really? Even if it doesn't seem that way. Even if nobody's talking about it. Even if nobody watched it. Even if the people that did see it or review it thought it was garbage. It was actually pretty good, guys. You just don't know what you're talking about. It may not immediately seem that way, but Star Trek actually had a great 2024 between Paramount Plus and Netflix. Star Trek spanned 2 streaming services in 2024. Oh, great. So more people had the opportunity to watch it, but nobody did, with 3 series delivering a total of 40 episodes. Guys, we put out a bunch of shit, but it's still shit. Well, Star Trek Discovery Season 5 was a franchise-only live-action outing, offering 10-hour-long episodes. No. You had a streaming show that had 10 episodes. Ooh, wow. Very novel. And you're giving that a positive, huh? Interesting. When Star Trek was built on 22, 24 episode long seasons. Wow, man, this is big cope, and we're not even a paragraph through it. And an extended series finale. Oh, Star Trek Prodigy Season 2. I know about the projects. Never heard of Prodigy. Season 2 dropped 20 half-hour episodes on Netflix. Oh, the most Star Trek ever in one day. Yeah, they released it, and nobody talked about it. Like, when was that? Okay, and finally, Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5 closed out the year with its final 10 half-hour episodes on Paramount Plus, a streaming platform totally dominated by Taylor Sheridan, which is crazy because it's some of the most watched streaming content in the world, and it's on the brink of collapse. God, Paramount is such a dumb company. 2024 isn't regarded as a prolific year as 2022 or 2023 were for Star Trek. Wait, what? 2024 was great, but it wasn't as good as 2022 or 2023 when things were significantly worse. Great. Except for, what was that, 2022 or was that 2023 with Picard Season 3 that people actually generally liked? In 2022, all 5 Paramount Plus Star Trek series dropped a new episode nearly every Thursday of the calendar year. 2023 kicked off, yes, with the blockbuster Picard Season 3 galvanizing fans old and new by reuniting the cast of Star Trek New Generation aboard the USS Enterprise D. Strange New World Season 2 made Trek history with first ever, oh my god, that was last year, Jesus, in a comedy crossover, with Lower Decks, all of which were which later delivered a stellar Season 4. Really? Because it was so great that the series had to wrap up the next year. Cool. 2024, however, was a series of highs for Star Trek. Yeah! Star Trek had 3 shows in 2024, and all of them were great. Yep, they were fantastic. Like, you know, this shot right here, oh my god, it brings back such emotions. Like, you have Michael Burnham and Guy, and this right here, oh, you remember that episode. And then you got this stuff where you have, well, that's Janeway. And I heard that she ended up getting bastardized in that show. Anyways, and yeah, you have that, and then oh my god, just this CalArts cringe that is Lower Decks. Every clip that I see of that makes me want to drive my head into the monitor. Despite the dark cloud that Star Trek Discovery and Lower Decks held in their final seasons on Paramount. No, it was a great year. Shut up, stop saying dark cloud. And Netflix made no noise about renewing, yes, Star Trek Prodigy. Oh great, so everything that's out right now is getting cut. Are you looking forward to section 31? Let's see, where you can have singing and dancing for an entire series because that one episode of Lower Decks happened and a bunch of shills liked it. You like that? All 3 series delivering the highest quality Star Trek, and some episodes were among the best Star Trek audiences have ever seen. Post the ratings! Post the ratings! Oh wait, you don't. But remember guys, it was so great that Paramount is apparently erasing Star Trek Discovery from canon. Fans celebrate a potential return to tradition. Yep. I've heard conflicting reports on this, but most of the conflicting reports is like, nah man, we're just here to blackpill and say, no, things are never going to get better. Well, kinda might seem dour, but this is also, like I said before, Paramount is hemorrhaging money, is on the brink of collapse. Skydance looks like it could be buying it any single day now. Only Ubisoft is racing it into the ground further, or rather faster, in the regards of getting gobbled up. But with that said, that means that there is some hope, okay? There is some salvation on the horizon. We saved this one for Christmas Day because we wanted to spread a little good cheer on the special day. Paramount has officially scrubbed the maligned and controversial Star Trek Discovery from canon. Yeah, that had Spock have an adopted sister and dilithium crystals were all exploded by an autistic kid screeching in outer space. I wish I was making that up. Setting it in an alternative timeline that doesn't impact the prime story fans have loved for decades. Oopsie daisy. Not only has Paramount officially canceled Discovery, it utterly erased it from the broader Star Trek canon. For many fans, especially those weary of the series' controversial direction, this decision is a welcome relief that promises to restore the beloved continuity to the Star Trek universe. Star Trek Discovery debuted with high expectations, yes, but over its run, it faced significant backlash from segments of the fan base. Yes, criticism ranged from drastic changes in the portrayal of the iconic species, such as Klingons, to deviations from established timelines and character arcs. The early seasons set the series in the past, but inconsistencies soon emerged, leading to widespread dissatisfaction. One of the most contentious issues was a redesign for the Klingons. Yo, bro. Okay, like I said, not the biggest Trekkie, but that right there, that looks more like Rex from Mass Effect than it does a Klingon. Like, bro, what are we doing? Traditional fans were taken aback by the new aesthetic and diverged sharply from the established look seen on the original series and subsequent iterations like Strange New Worlds, boo, which is a spin-off of Discovery, which makes the choice all more confusing. This departure is not only disruptive to longtime enthusiasts, but also disrupted the visual continuity. That's a hallmark of the Star Trek franchise. An unexpected move, Paramount utilized the final episode of Lower Decks to address the controversy surrounding Discovery. Okay. According to Giant Freakin' Robot, Lower Decks officially confirmed that Discovery exists in an alternate universe, separating from the main Star Trek timeline. But yeah, Discovery, well, it's the most recent live-action series. It was always set as being a prequel. It's the first canonically, but the most recent iteration. Does that make sense? So yeah, it was always supposed to be, hey, you know, all that stuff that Kirk and Picard, everything that Cisco did, okay, actually, a strong, empowered black woman did it first. But oopsie daisy, she did it first in a different timeline. This revelation effectively erases the Kurtzman created series from prime canon, ensuring that its divergences no longer impact the overarching narrative. The explanation provided involves a fascinating sci-fi concept. There's a rift surrounding Schrodinger's possibility field that remaps matter into alternate reality versions of the multiverse. Okay. This event transforms the main timeline Klingons into those seen in Discovery, clearly delineating between the two universes. Consequently, the Lower Decks remains canon and part of the timeline, or the prime timeline rather, Discovery is relegated to an alternative reality mitigating its previous inconsistencies. Yeah, see, that's how this read is taken, because you see the traditional Klingons, and then what you have right here, these weird xenomorph Erdnot looking things. Like, what are we doing? That's disgusting. This strategic erasure is not Paramount's first attempt at maintaining continuity. Lower Decks, as previously addressed, the rectified long-standing continuity issue, such as the 50-year debate over the appearance of the Orions. By reaffirming Lower Decks as canon and aligning it with the mainline timeline, Paramount reinforces the integrity of the Star Trek universe. Despite starting as a Discovery spinoff, Strange New Worlds continues to uphold the traditional look of the Klingons. That's not to say that Strange New Worlds is great. It's just, is it more or less canon destroying? I think from as much as I know, and I'm sure that there are more enthusiastic fans that are out there, obviously, like I said, not a fan, just a respecting observer to see long-suffering fan bases being completely kicked in the dick for the better part of a decade. I think Lower Decks does a little bit better job respecting canon and lore, because Discovery is just so silly. But the upcoming release of Section 31, a streaming film starring Michelle Yeoh, is set to premiere on January 21st or 24th exclusively on Paramount. Yeah, and it doesn't look great at all. But one thing that we got to give it up to, okay, because as much as Screen Rant was trying to spin a yarn that 2024 was great for Star Trek, okay, the one good thing that came out that I actually watched, okay, because it came highly recommended, it was the Unification. It was the 765874 Unification, okay, the well-produced send-off for Kirk and Spock. I mean, as much as I don't have a connection to these characters, didn't watch them, didn't watch the movies, didn't watch TOS, I have enough of a cultural understanding of these two characters. And yeah, man, that was some powerful stuff that they put out with no dialogue whatsoever, giving actual fans closure, being the perfect send-off to Star Trek, and just letting whatever Alex Kurtzman is out there doing just further destroying the brand of Star Trek. It doesn't matter, man, because Unification, a fan-made project with a lot of prominent fans, if you will, Sam Witwer and Kevin Feige of all people getting credit on this 8-minute long video. It does give fans closure. And whatever they do moving forward, whatever bad reboot and all of those disciples do, it doesn't much matter, man. Because 2023, the next generation fans got their proper send-off. And in 2024, the original series finally got theirs. As for Deep Space Nine, I shudder to think what they'll eventually do to you. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Conspello. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.